Excellencies. I'm very happy to be here today to just talk to you about Nestle Nigeria, but not as Nestle Nigeria, but to talk about why we're here at the Nutritious Food Fair and the opportunities for more private sector investment in the nutritious food sector. Can we go to the next slide, please? What gives me a right to be here? I'm a mom, and I happily own the nutrition of my household, to ensure that they're eating the right things at the right time, in the right proportions. Happily own it. And I work for Nestle, so it's in my DNA. Good food equals good life. And then, of course, my business is about communication, so I work as the Corporate Communications and Public Affairs Manager for Nestle in Nigeria. And my job is to create the connections. My job is to ensure that we are listening to our environment and that our environment is hearing from us as well. And so, I love food a lot. You might not see it on me, but, wherever there's food, they know me. I'm there. So that's why I'm here. Then why is Nestle interested? The next slide, please. So Nestle is committed. That's our purpose is to enhance quality of life and contribute to a healthier future. And we focus on doing this for 3 different communities: for individuals and families, for our communities, and also looking at the environment and protecting the future. And so globally, we have over 42 commitments, but under 3 key areas. We want to help 50 million children across the world live healthier lives. Thank you. And we do this by ensuring that we keep providing high-quality, nutritious food for the children. And we also provide nutrition education. Because we find that sometimes it's not the lack of food that is a problem, but it's a lack of knowledge of how to eat the food, how to combine the food, when to eat what, and about having an active lifestyle and also healthy hydration. These are some of the things that are a problem. Even though we have a problem with lack of access to food and we have a problem of food shortage, but sometimes these are the major problems, and that's what we do. And so we want to help 30 million households, to improve their livelihoods. That's globally. In Nigeria, we have a particular focus, and maybe, I won't go into all the details, but if you're interested, I can share with you how we work within our value chain, right across our value chain, right from the farmer to the person who eats it in his home, to ensure that their livelihoods are improved, not just by having healthy lives, but actually increasing their income and making sure that, we have continuous investment in the agriculture food sector, okay? And then, we're striving for zero impact, to the environment in all our production. And that's our commitment at a global level. Can we go to the next slide, please? And so in Nigeria, we're focused on doing this in 3 key areas. Okay, so of course, working to ensure that individuals and families have the right information, and also ensuring that they understand the importance of living an active lifestyle, and also providing access to clean drinking water, and working with farmers to improve their capacity, not only to improve productivity, but also to improve the quality of the grains. Can we go to the next slide, please? And so, for several years, Nestle has been investing in the food sector. Globally, we've been there for over 150 years. In Central and West Africa, we've been there for over 60 years. In Nigeria, we've been here since 1961. And our focus is still the same. It's still on providing nutritious food and ensuring the sustainability of the food value chain. That is very important to all of us. So that's something that we do. Just stay on that slide, please. Back to the other slide. Okay, so we're all here, as stakeholders in the food sector, in the nutritious food sector, I dare to say. What is the rationale for increasing our investment? Yesterday we were at a meeting, and the representative of the Minister of Health told us something very important. He said 53% of the problems that infants have is as a result of poor nutrition. And so if we're able to solve the problem around nutrition, we would have gone a long way to improve the lives of children and to ensure that they will have a healthy life in future. The quality of life is as important as how long you live. So that's an incentive. 98.9 million people in Central and West Africa are malnourished. Micronutrient deficiency in children is at 62%. In women is at 38%. Stunting is at 30% in West and Central Africa. In Nigeria, it's beyond that. It's about 40%. And that is terrible. That is a terrible metric. So, please, can we go to the next slide? If we look at this situation, we have an opportunity to help the governments to work towards the attainment of the SDG goals when it comes to health and wellness and when it comes to agriculture. So what is the first opportunity that we have as stakeholders in the food industry? We want to make sure, we should work together to make sure there is affordable nutrition for all. Affordable nutrition. And when we talk about nutrition, it's not just about something to eat and put in your body. It's about something that is nutritious, that will provide the micronutrients that you need. So we look at food fortification. I know that a number of us are already investing in the area of food fortification, and we're also talking about biofortification, and there are many of us in this room today working towards making sure that the grains that we have in our open markets are the right quality and that they will provide already the micronutrients that we need. And also we need to improve the access to this healthy food. Okay? So one of the strategies that we see, that it's really working in our environment is to make sure that when we produce this nutritious food, we make sure that there are single-serve packs and what we call popularly positioned products that makes it possible for anyone, no matter the size of your pocket, to afford to lay hold of this nutritious food. That's something that we really, really need to work on. Can we go to the next slide? What's the second opportunity? Yes, I know that we're investing. But we need to increase our investment. And we need to increase our investment in critical areas. One of the things that, we need to understand, in our environment today, most of our young people are not interested in agriculture because agriculture is not profitable. And those who are in agriculture are not making enough living. You don't want to live that way. So it's not exciting. It's not attractive. No one wants to go in it. And I'm sure many of us here don't want to be farmers right now because of the environment, the current environment. So we need to invest in making sure that farming, that agriculture is profitable, that those who are working in the food industry, those who are working in agriculture can make a good living. They can make a decent living. They can afford to send their children to school. They can afford to provide health care. They can live in good homes. And then when we do that, then we can ensure that people will keep going into agriculture. If not, when this generation passes, we're going to have a bigger problem than we have today. Our population is increasing and our food production is declining. We need to invest more in this area. Another thing that we need to do is to invest in local food transformation. It's not enough to produce the raw material and to send it out. We need to begin to transform the food that we produce locally. That way we will provide even more employment, we will improve our economy, and we can have more food at more affordable price ranges for our populations. And we need to invest in reducing food waste. So we've been working, with farmers and with aggregators for over 6 years now. And one of the biggest things that we find that is a challenge for us in this area is the food loss. The post-harvest losses are at 40% sometimes. And that makes it even harder for the farmers to make a good income from what they produce from their farms. So we need to invest more in this area. Can we go to the next slide? And now the third opportunity. And I've spoken to that in the second opportunity to some extent. We need to seed the future. We need to invest more in innovation, in research, and in development. We need to be forward-thinking. We need to be innovative in our thinking. These are the challenges we have. This is how fast our population is growing. If we continue at this pace, are we going to be able to meet the demands of our population in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, we need to begin to think more about research and development. How can we improve the quality of the grains? How can we improve, the yield from the grains that we plant? That is something that we need to do. We also need to invest more in nutrition education. We have a huge gap in this area. When we sit in rooms like this, we take it for granted that everybody knows what we know. And, in the field, because we're in the field most of the time, we find that people don't even know the value of eating fruits. They don't know the value of eating fresh vegetables. There are meats, all kinds of meats around. If you eat fresh vegetable, your stomach will have a problem. Eating fruits is for rich people who can afford it. And all those meats that we find in the field. We need to invest more. It's an opportunity for us as a community to invest in nutrition education. That's critical. And another thing that we can do is a very simple thing that we can do is to ensure that we have nutrition information on our packaging material so that people can make the right choices. They can know the quantity of salt that you have. They can know the quantity of sugar. They can know the other things that are included in the products that you put on the shop floor. And so at the point of purchase, they can make informed decisions. These are things that we can begin to do. Okay, the next slide, please. And I'll close by, just looking at the current environment. So we have the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Dangote Foundation, GAIN, HarvestPlus, creating this platform that we have today. We have IFDC, we have TechnoServe, we have NESTLE, we have not Oxfam, we have Olam, we have BAT, we have different people working in the current environment. Yes, we're doing that. We're doing little things in our little areas, some big things in our little areas, and we're gradually making changes. But what is the next step? Can we go to the next slide, please? So our call to action is to look at the three key opportunities, and maybe there are more, but those three key opportunities that we can look at and harness the power of the private sector to make huge progress in these areas that we've identified. We can create, like a platform like today to discuss what the environment is like, what the challenges are, and what we can do as a group to address this. And we can make sure, with all hands being on deck, collaborating with one another, we can make sure that there is affordable nutrition for all. That is something that we can begin to do. And that's a call for you and I, for all the private sector, working together with the NGOs and other stakeholders who are in this environment. The governments as well need to be in this journey, on this journey with us, to make sure that in the next 5 years, we'll see the progress that we've made. In the next 10 years, we'll see the progress that we have made to ensure that there is affordable nutrition for every citizen in Nigeria and in West Africa to start with. Thank you very much.